Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ivanza Kenji Sakkay from class 6C. I'm here to present my project UAS classroom management. Let's focus on part 1, which is first is teaching tolerance. What is tolerance? Tolerance means respecting and accepting others' differences, promotes peaceful coexistence and social harmony. Goes beyond passive acceptance, encourages active empathy and inclusion. UNESCO 1995 defines tolerance as respect, acceptance, and appreciation of the rich diversity of our world's cultures. Why teach tolerance in schools? Schools are increasingly diverse race, religion, background, prevents bullying, hate speech, and discrimination, encourages empathy and global citizenship, supports emotional and social development. Strategies to teach tolerance. Multicultural education include diverse voices and stories in lessons. Second is classroom discussions, is use current events and open dialogue. Three is literature and media, which is read the books and show videos that highlights diverse experiences. And fourth is role-playing activities, practice empathy through simulations. Tips is that model tolerance in teacher behavior and responses. Integrating tolerance into curriculum. History, explore civil rights struggles for freedom. Literature, stories from the diverse authors. And art, showcase global art traditions. Group work, encourage collaboration among students of different backgrounds. Challenges in teaching tolerance. Pre-existing biases among students or families, limited curriculum resources, resistance to discussing the sensitive issues, and lacking of teacher training. The solution is to use professional development and culturally responsive pedagogy. Impact on students. Improve overall relationships, reduction in bullying and exclusion, higher self-esteem among minority students, and stronger classroom community. So, conclusion. Teaching tolerance is vital for a just and respectful society. Schools have the power to shape open-minded future citizens. It begins with intentional curriculum and empathetic teaching. And here is the references for this topic. The second topic is helping students handle anger, frustration, and aggression. The first is understanding the emotions. Anger, emotional response of perceived injustice or threat. Frustration, a feeling of being blocked from achieving goals. Aggression, behavior intended to hurt or intimidate others. These emotions are natural but must be guided, not punished. Causes in school settings, academic pressure, social conflicts like bullying and exclusion, home environment stress, lack of coping skills, trauma or emotional disorders. Signs of emotional distress, verbal outbursts, physical aggression, withdrawal or shutting down, refusal to follow instructions, hyperactivity or restlessness. The strategies for teachers: stay calm, model emotional control, create a safe place which allows timeouts or quiet corners. Active listening, let students express themselves without judgment, and teach coping skills, deep breathing, journaling, drawing emotions. Conflict resolution activities, role play and peer mediation. Implement SEL, social emotional learning, integrate SEL into daily lessons, teach self-awareness and empathy, promote emotional vocabulary, programs like Second Steps, Zones of Regulation. CASEL, Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. SEL helps students manage emotions, set goals, and build relationships. Working with parents and counselors. Communicate regularly with families. Refer severe cases to school counselors or psychologists. And create an individualized behavior plan if needed. Use behavioral logs and progress tracking. And conclusion, Anger and frustration are manageable with support. Teachers play a crucial role in regulating classroom emotions. Prevention and intervention strategies build a healthier learning environment. And here's the references. And the third topic is disruptive behavior. What is disruptive behavior? Any behavior that interrupts teaching, learning, or the classroom environments. Examples are talking out of turn, refusing to follow directions, constant movement or wandering, defiance or disrespect, bullying or teasing. Common causes of disruptive behavior: lack of engagement or interest in lessons, unmet emotional or psychological needs, attention-seeking behavior, learning difficulties or special needs, problems at home like trauma, neglect. Impact on teaching and learning: wastes valuable instruction time, reduces focus and productivity for all students, causes teacher stress and burnout, can escalate into more serious behavior problems. Preventive strategies: set clear rules and expectations, like pause them visibly and review often. And build positive relationships, use names, grade students, and show respect. Engage students actively, use varied activities and student-led tasks. The classroom routines: keep transitions smooth and predictable. Reinforce positive behavior, praise efforts and good choices. Prevention is more effective than punishment. Intervention strategies: non-verbal cues like eye contact, proximity, hand signals. Restorative questions help students reflect, like what happened, who was affected. Behavior contrast, personalized goals and consequences. Cool down spaces, let students regain control before returning. Consequences leader, use gradual steps like warning to time out to parent call. Collaborating with others, involve parents, like early communication builds trust. Work with school counselors, especially for chronic or severe cases. And peer mentorship: older students can model positive behavior, and special services for students with behavioral or emotional disorders. In conclusion, disruptive behavior is a challenge but not unmanageable. With structure, empathy, and consistent strategies, teachers can restore learning environments. Focus on guiding students towards better behavior, not just punishing them. And here's the references. Now moving on to part 2. So you can pause it for read for yourself. But the main point, the question is, what classroom management techniques can Mrs. Johnson implement to address Alex's aggressive behavior? Provide at least 3 specific strategies and explain how each one could help improve the situations. Now the first is teach constructive ways to express anger and frustration. Aggression is often an expression of underlying emotions like anger and frustration. The text highlights that when children don't know constructive ways to express these feelings, they may have become aggressive. Mrs. Johnson should actively teach Alex and the class appropriate ways to express their emotions. This could involve role-playing, discussing feelings openly, and providing vocabulary for emotions. By doing so, Alex can learn to articulate his feelings instead of resorting to physical or verbal aggression, leading to a reduction in conflicts. Secondly, 2 is model appropriate emotional expressions. Children often imitate aggressive behavior they observe. Therefore, it is crucial for Mrs. Johnson to be mindful of how she expresses her own emotions in a classroom. By consistently modeling calm, respectful, and constructive ways of handling her own frustration or disagreements, she can provide a powerful example for Alex. This approach suggests that demonstrating appropriate behavior can have a lasting effects on students' conduct, showing Alex an alternative to his current aggressive patterns. Punish quickly and appropriately. Focus on The three is punish quickly and appropriately. Focus on behavior change. While Mrs. Johnson has tried consequences, the text emphasizes that punishment should be quick and strong enough to be effective, but never overly severe, as harsh punishment can lead to resentment without lasting behavior change. When punishing, Alex must clearly understand why he is being punished and what more appropriate behavior must have been. The goal should always be change behavior, not to exact revenge, and humiliation should be avoided. This approach helps Alex connect his actions with consequences in a clear, fair manner, promoting understanding and better choices in the future, rather than just stiffing the behavior temporarily due to fear or resentment. And here's the second problem. I'm not gonna read it again. I'm not gonna read it like before, but I will read the question. What strategies can Mr. Smith use to increase on task behavior and decrease off task behavior? Provide at least 3 specific strategies and explain how each one could address the issue. Just like the now implement the teaching process model for off-task behaviors. Rather than interrupting the lesson and reacting emotionally, Mr. Smith can approach off-task behavior systematically, much like he would teach a learning unit. This involves in identifying the students' need to be on track, determining the objective, getting them engaged, designing and preparing for learning activities like subtle nonverbal cues like proximity, eye contact, or a gentle touch. Conducting these activities and then assessing if the goal was achieved by using this model, Mr. Smith can adjust off-task behavior discreetly and effectively, minimizing disruption to the entire class while redirecting individual students. Stay calm and organized in thought. Teachers who become offended or retaliate against students for off-task behavior often fail to achieve their goal of re-engaging students. Mr. Smith should focus on the objective of getting and keeping students on task rather than reacting emotionally to their perceived disrespect. By remaining calm and thinking strategically about how to respond, he can avoid unproductive or counterproductive efforts that waste valuable time and energy, ensuring his interventions are effective and professional. Lastly is establish clear routines. Routines are highlighted as one of the best safeguards against discipline problems. If students know what they are supposed to do, when and where, uncertainty decreases, which in turn reduces the likelihood of off-task behavior. Mr. Smith should ensure that daily procedures such as transitions, independent work time, and use of materials are clearly established and understood by all students. This predictably creates a more structured learning environment where students are less likely to become disengaged and more likely to remain on task. And here's the third problem. Like before, once again, I'm not gonna read it for all of you, but as for questions, just like before, what specific strategies can Mrs. Brown implement to manage Jack's disruptive behavior? Provide at least strategies and explain how each one could help address the issue. Directly address the behavior in a private conference. Instead of addressing Jack's clowning in front of the class, which could lead to embarrassment and resentment, Mrs. Brown can address the issue privately. This approach allows for frank discussion where Mrs. Brown can explain how Jack's behavior hinders her teaching and other students' learning. Requesting his cooperation and offering help to succeed can foster a more cooperative relationship and lead to genuine behavior change, as the focus shifts from public reprimand to private problem solving. Utilize proximity control and non-verbal cues. When disruptive talking occurs, Mrs. Brown can intervene without interrupting her lesson or speaking directly to the students. By moving near the disruptive student while continuing her lecture, she can often curb the behavior through her presence alone. If needed, she can further use non-verbal cues, such as eye contact or gentle touch, to communicate her expectation for on-task behavior. This method allows Mrs. Brown to manage disruptive behavior subtly. maintaining the flow of the lesson, and avoiding public confrontation that can escalate issues or disturb other students. Draw up a contract on classroom behavior to establish clear expectations and shared responsibility. Mrs. Brown can involve students in creating contract on classroom behavior. This contract, read and signed by students, clearly outlines the norms and expected behaviors. This strategy promotes a sense of ownership among students regarding classroom conduct, including JEC. By having JEC agree to the terms, it serves as a formal commitment and a clear reference point for expected behavior, make it easy to address future disruptions by referring back to the agreed upon contact. And that's it for all of my presentations for these presentations. Thank you for watching, and I apologize if there's any mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.